All right, welcome on into the hot corner where Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network bridge together and come up with the hot corner. And tonight we're going to be talking about a few things, but right now we'll get it started with who has the edge for the fifth starter for the San Francisco Giants. And let's thank our sponsors right off the top real quick. That would be Chapman Law Group for NorCal Sports Network. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give Chapman Law Group a call, 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. Look, you got a legal situation. Maybe you got hit behind, got a little whiplash, or maybe you're feeling fine, but you're not sure. Give them a call. Doesn't cost you anything to check it out. They specialize in personal injury, documents. You need a living trust, a will. Give them a call. Many other things. Chapman Law Group. And for Giant Sports Talk Live, who we thinking?
Go ahead, Eric.
Go for it, Glenn.
Go ahead, Eric. Eric can't remember them all. All righty. We got GenesisGoldIRA.com. We've got... who else do we got on board, Eric? Signatures for soldiers, lefties, and Burlingame for all your Wilmer Flores autograph merch. Got a great selection. They're usually sold out of Wilmer, but they get fresh stuff in. Who else do we got on board? We've got Duxwell Printing in the Bay Area for all your printing needs, 24 hours a day, I might add. And when you need a credit card, Eric, who do you got to call?
BetterCreditCards.com. Go for it.
All right, John's waiting for your call at BetterCreditCards.com. All right, Dan, take it away.
All right. Does Chapman Law Group handle lawsuits from fans if we want to sue ownership for malpractice? I don't know. Give them a call. Ask them. Maybe they will.
Coming in hot already. Woo.
Look at that. The Four Horsemen. There we go.
The Four Horsemen. There we go. All right.
Four Horsemen.
So tonight we're talking a little bit about, and then we'll get into some other things, guys. We'll bringing up the Susan Slusser article about Blake Snell. And
bad news out of New York.
Yes, Garrett Cole. And do I hear, hey, what's the number one thing you do when somebody gets hurt in fantasy? You pick up the phone call, or text and call that dude and say, hey, I see you lost a pitcher. I got a pitcher for you, but it's going to cost you. But hey, Giants got some extra pitching. Why aren't they on the phone with New York? They're down probably two starters, Heel and Garrett Cole. We'll get into that. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about Susan Slusser's article coming out about Blake Snell, interviewing Blake Snell, and he said the Giants didn't even give him a call. They had zero, nada, none, nil, zilch interest in Blake Snell. Crazy. But tonight we're going to first start it off and talking about who's the leader in camp right now for the fifth starter. What do you guys say?
All right, I'll go first. It's going to be my guy. It's a guy I've been talking about quite often. I like what I saw last year in Hayden Birdsong. I think Hayden Birdsong right now, he, again, just going by spring training, take it for what it's worth. He really hasn't had a stinker, so to speak. So that's a guy that I'm high on. It's interesting as you're talking about this. We had Marty on the show, right? Or I should say on your show. And he was talking about Keaton Wynn possibly being a fifth starter. So that's something we could get into. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, you never know. He's talking about maybe having Birdsong and Harrison stay in AAA and work on their craft, so to speak, and then have just Keaton Wynn. And then if something happens, hey, you got the young guys down in Sacramento to bring up anytime you need. But yeah, my guy right now,
I'm kind of with you in a way with Birdsong because I think he's got the most arsenal as a starting pitcher. He's got 4 solid pitches. Yeah. And I think that plays well as a starter because, you're facing guys 3 times, hopefully, and you don't want to show. I think what does Roop really have? He's worked on the changeup. He's got the curve and the fastball, which isn't that fast. The 4-seamer goes at about 91 on average. It's deceptively fast because he throws a lot of off-speed pitch in the high 70s, but I think it sounds like maybe we'll find out from our 2 other hosts down at the bottom there, Glenn And Lou, whether Harrison is on nobody's list. Let's see. What do you say, Glenn?
I don't know what to tell you about Harrison. You mentioned the Yankees. They got a little problem now. Maybe you want to call and say, hey, I got a Harrison here you might be able to use. But as far as closing out the rotation, I thought that I got to agree with Eric. Hayden Birdsong. I don't have it often. Savor the flavor, Eric, up there, buddy. I thought Hayden Birdsong passed the eye test last year. Don't let a 5-6 record fool you. Different ball club last year, hopefully, than what we're going to see this year. I thought to come up like he did, 4.75 ERA, struck out 88. Dan, you mentioned nice arsenal of pitches. So I would have to say that unless things change, I would say he deserves the opportunity.
I like that. I like that word, deserves.
What do you say, Lou?
Two things, please. First of all, before spring training, I have no clue why Birdsong was even competing with the fifth. He earned it last year. He should have been the fifth. Fair. I don't know why he was competing against Harrison, because Harrison didn't prove anything. But if we're going to say he deserves it, then why do we even have spring training? Because if you look at spring training, one pitcher's been better than anybody, and that's Roop. I mean, 3 starts. I think he's
until today.
I know, but they still won. But it's who's had the best start, and I think this is the one problem is you can't just go off one start, but who's been most consistent, and I think it's Roop. So either again, it depends how you look at spring training. Again, it is only spring training. I still don't know why Birdsong had to compete. And we're all talking about Dan and Glenn. Hey, maybe the Yankees want Harrison. What is Harrison going to get us? A box of rocks? I still think this guy hasn't proven himself. He's all reputation. This guy's got so much work. He better come down. If he's on the major league thing, I've completely lost all faith with everything we've talked about. And I know we're going to talk about Susan's article and everything, because who is in charge of telling us, beside Robert Rothberg, that our pitching staff is adequate? Okay. We have an old guy who only had 16 starts last year. We have Webb, who just became a dad, who's coming off 2 consecutive 200 innings. We have Ray that pitched 3 starts last year and got injured. This starting rotation, and me and Dan talked about this last night. I'm not really worried about our offense. I'm really worried about our pitching. I'm really worried about our starting pitching and our bullpen, where we're putting the bat on the ball, so our offense should be a little bit better. But I think our pitching might take a major step back. And I think it's a major situation we should talk about, because if you look at our starting 4, we had a guy that ran out of gas last year that everyone thinks for some reason Hicks is a starter when we've all talked about he shouldn't be a starter. We have Webb, who had a losing record when he started last year with the Giants in wins. We have an old guy that didn't even want the Giants. The Giants just offered him a 1-year deal. He was shocked to be here. And then you got Hicks, who last year ran out of gas after 101 innings. So, it's just something I think, I know we'll all talk about, but, if it's to the question, Birdsong deserves it from last year, but I don't think he's been the best pitcher spring training. So it really depends on what you think about spring training.
Fair enough. Glenn, you kind of were talking about that on our show. One of your biggest concerns, right, with the club is starting pitching.
Yeah, I think it's frail. And guys in our chat don't like me to talk about injuries, but let's face it. What kind of ball club do you have that doesn't go through injuries in the course of a season? And if it was a serious injury to any of our pitchers, you're looking at trouble. Now, I do want to mention, I'll throw it back to Dan in a sec. Great take by Lou. And I got to piggyback off that. And if they are so high on Harrison and Roop, and I think Birdsong, like I say, I think he deserves his chance. I think they're making a mistake bringing Hicks back from the bullpen. They're causing their own problems a lot of times, this ball club. If they had just left Hicks in there, you pretty much have a settled rotation as it is. Why? Can you guys explain to me why they keep trying to reinvent the wheel? And, we promised we'd bring him in. It's Major League Baseball. You tell him he's going to be in the pen, and he collects a salary. I don't get it, but I think if you took Hicks out of the equation, put him back in the bullpen, then you got yourself your lineup. You got yourself your pitching staff. What say you, Dan?
You know, I am with, I've said it since last year. I have said from day one when they signed Hicks, he should be a bullpen guy. But, you know, he wanted to start, and so he got signed for 4 years, $44 million. And, you know, I don't understand the thinking that you just watched the guy last year start and fizzle after, 2+ months? He was really good, which he's got great stuff. No surprise that he was really good, but he fizzled out. And then he had arm problems because he pitched more innings than he had ever pitched. And then he's not even useful to be in the bullpen. So, the plan is we're going to stretch him out and then we'll put him in the bullpen. Both Eric and I said last year, that's not going to work. He's going to probably get hurt, and he did. And who are we? We're just two knuckleheads making an opinion. And these guys are, you know, so-called experts, and they can't see that, and they're going to do it again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I think the same thing happens again. He pitches really well, looks good, and then overdoes it, and he's taxed. And by the time you need him, the dog days of summer, he's useless. So to me, let's just make the dude, why not have the best bullpen in baseball? Back end of Hicks, Duvall, and Walker, and then you got Rogers, you got a couple of other guys in there. How about having a lights out bullpen and then having, you know, to me, I would just go with Birdsong. And, you know, as far as Harrison, his value, I did this just a week ago. His value on the trade machine was 33. I did it today. It's 27.
Oh, it went to 27?
Yeah, it's going down because his fastball has no, you know.
Wow,
so
I didn't know that.
It's going down. And, you know, he pitched the one good start I said, trade him. Because still high. And what do? They don't do anything, and they won't do anything. And just mark my words, his value will be in single digits by the end of the year. And they will get nothing for him, just like they got nothing for Bart. They're going to get nothing for Luciano. They got, you know, look, when you got a high prospect that the value is high, look to move them and get something in return, right? Because prospects, what's the saying? Prospects are suspects that somebody said.
Yeah.
Until proven otherwise. Look, I know everybody feels the same. You know, we all in here are high on Eldridge, but if I got a smoking deal, somebody offered me a smoking deal for Eldridge for a guy that's in his early to mid 20s that's already doing it, I would consider it. I don't know. I would have traded. I would be calling Miami. I would be going after Alcantara, and I would be throwing Harrison at him and whatever it takes. Miami's doesn't want guys that are high salary. Miami is going nowhere. They have nowhere to go but down. If there was more teams in that division, they would be at the bottom. But they're not going to pass any of those teams. Washington, Mets, Phillies, or Braves in anything close probably in this decade. Okay. So Alcantara's, they got 3 years of control. Trade him, get some couple of young guys. And the Giants, if they had Alcantara, guy pitches 200 plus innings a year like Webb. Imagine, and then move Hicks to the bullpen. You're putting yourself in a position to actually compete with pitching. And you can dominate, you know, If you had Alcantara and Webb going 7 innings, that's 2/5 of your rotation that you're giving your bullpen some rest.
But I think that'd be a great idea if you got somebody else to throw in there, because I think the Giants are somewhere around 10-3 in the preseason.
Correct.
And I don't believe in the, what is it, Eric? Recency bias. Guys are in our chat every night, and my God, they're planning the parade. People are running around naked in the streets, excited about Giants baseball and the greatest pitching staff in baseball, hands down. I'm like, come on. Don't get caught up just as much as I'm not caught up. Guys, at 10-3, I'm not that excited. It's preseason baseball. If we were 3-10, they'd be screaming that, the sky is falling. So just let's play it out. I don't think the pitching staff is all that people have it cracked up to be. Time will tell. But I think, Dan, a trade like that.
But you know what? Robbie makes a good point right here. Yankees will probably go out and get him. Look, we all saw what Joe Lacob did, right? The difference between an owner that wants to win versus an ownership group that is just content with breaking even. Joe Lacob says, I'm going out and getting me a star somehow. And he goes out and gets Jimmy Butler. The Giants do not do anything aggressive. Man, Yankees are down 2 pitchers. I'd be either on the phone with him or I would be calling Miami and say, look, Miami, I said last year in spring training, Luis Arias, the Giants should go after and get him because somebody's going to get him. And boom, AJ Preller.
Yep. Snatched him up.
Jumps the gun over everybody because he's aggressive. And and the same thing is going on, I believe, could happen with Alcantara. They don't want to pay him $17 million. Miami doesn't want to pay anybody anything. Harrison is minimum wage for Major League, which is what, $700,000-800,000. A couple of other guys in that realm, and you save yourself $13+ million a year, and you get younger. You get guys for more years of control. Look, I don't think some front offices, including the Giants, think ahead. I think they react.
They're reactionary rather than being proactive. Yeah. And here's the thing, and I see what Mark is talking about there. He makes a great point because the Yankees are going to want someone who's legit right now, right? Harrison, not so much. But I mean, and that's why I think your idea is pretty good there, Dan. Send them to Miami if you could package them together. But don't the Giants have somebody maybe they could trade to the Yankees? Because the Yankees, look, they ain't getting it done with Marcus Stroman, Rodon, and who the hell else? Who else is in
Fried? They got Fried.
They got Max Fried, so that's decent, but that's the only guy. But they ain't getting it done. That's not reaching the expectations that the Yankees and Yankees fans are going to want. So they're going to be clamoring.
I would not be shocked if the Yankees are making calls to Miami, saying what would it take? Yeah, maybe they would give up a Jason Dominguez. You know,
might be right.
Maybe they give up a Dominguez for something like that.
But you guys are right. When it comes to the San Francisco Giants, they always seem to be you guys talked about it just a moment ago, but they always seem to be a team that just does a little patchwork. Like if they needed to fill a position, what do? They go like they replace somebody if need be modestly. Where you're talking about the Yankees, they'll go out and who's the best we can get on the market right now? Get me somebody who's top shelf. Well, we always go with this modest approach. Oh, we'll bring this guy in because he had a great year in 2017. Oh, come on. I get tired of that as a fan.
Yeah, what I was going to say, 2 things. First of all, it's because, Glenn, we pick up crumbs. And as Eric would say, we're never first, but we're pretty close to being last when it comes to decisions. I think we can almost get 2 birds at one stone. You guys aren't even talking about the MVP of the American League last year, Stanton. He's going to be out all year.
That's
so
right.
They're missing a DH. He's got double tennis elbow, which I've never heard before. He's going to be out. So you got him and Garrett Cole. How about trade Yaz and Harrison and maybe somebody else, and we can maybe see who they got in the youth where maybe we can pick up a possible prospect. Because you remember, we have to give something up to give,
Correct.
and it will help our 40-man roster. So, I just think that's something that we can think of. I'm not a big fan of Yaz. Yaz could be a fill-in for them and a DH, the short porch,
Short porch, you're right.
They got two things that could change. And, I obviously, I want to do what's best for the Giants, but I think it's a perfect thing. The Giants are happy where they're at, being a third, fourth place team. The Yankees, especially after everything that happened in their dimensional offseason, it's championship or bust. And, winning organizations do whatever it takes, and the Giants are just sort of happy. Hey guys, just hope we're 500. And, because since we've spoken last week, another great thing they did, as we said last week, they had the seniors tickets available. This year, they started the $9, no fees on the Giants. Yeah. So you got to do something to really bring up the spark. I know I had some friends that went to the I don't know if you guys know, they had the Fan Fest yesterday at the ballpark. And, they do 4 Fan Fests now, one up in Santa Rosa, one in Sacramento, one in San Jose. And they said, it was a beautiful day, but it didn't have the umph. Usually when you go to the Fan Fest, they sell tickets, people get fired up, taking photos. A couple guys said, it didn't really get them excited for the season. So I think the Giants, why not make a trade to do something?
I don't understand the
How do you go to Fan Fest when everyone's in freaking spring training?
I know. What's the deal? What?
Again, Giants marketing.
Oh, go ahead.
Nothing like it.
You know what? Anybody who went to the ballpark yesterday, my better half was over there. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but you got a bobblehead doll, and that's, they give away bobbleheads. It's become kind of.
Tell them who it was and how many years ago it was from, because it was extras. That's what they gave them away.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I don't know where the hell they got these things. I don't know where they got these. It was a Brian Wilson.
Who the player was?
Brian Wilson bobblehead. His
Brian
name
Wilson,
isn't on it.
They gave 2 away.
Picture of him. Yeah. There's no San Francisco logo on the box. It looks like they got these things off, some guy.
Timu? Maybe Timu. Maybe they ordered them on Timu.
Some guy at a tractor trailer and said, "Psst, come here. I got a deal for you." It's like no name brand bobblehead doll. I'm afraid you take it to the box. I'm afraid the heads just fall right off of the thing. Anyway, it's just, I think their marketing leaves a lot to be deserved. It's terrible. It's got to be one of the worst in baseball. I mean, we're at nothing like, what do you call it? What do you call it, Lou? Giants baseball.
Nothing like it. Yeah, I think because I was told
the leadership showed up before the tariffs.
Yeah, they gave away 2 different bobbleheads. Brian Wilson, which I think were from 7 years ago, because you remember when he left to go to the Dodgers and they wouldn't even give him a ring, Larry Bear? They supposedly they had a giveaway for his final year, but the game got rained out, so they were all from like 8 years ago that were just sitting in a thing. Because the other one they had was they gave away.
Matt Chapman's available yesterday.
Yeah, well, one of the other bobbleheads they gave away is the guy that went to Houston, Dubon.
Oh, Dubon.
So
they're all extras. They gave away.
They were just all in storage. They gave them to people just because, you know what?
No
they
way.
probably needed the room. So let's give them away. That's how bad the Giants marketing is.
You don't give away. You don't have a fan fest and give away bobbleheads from a player who hasn't played here in 4 seasons.
Giants baseball, nothing like it.
They never cease to. They never cease to surprise.
I wasn't planning on coming here and shitting, but man, hearing that,
amateur hour.
That's bad.
Hey, I knew it. I knew where these bobbleheads came from.
Oh no, here we go.
Timu. Oh, an extra $200. There we go. Let's get our stuff. And here it is. For $15, you can have a bobblehead right there. Sports-themed resin baseball figurine. Modern artistic head. Yes. Look at that. Who is that? Who knows?
Is that Jung-Hoo Lee?
Swinging right-handed. I don't know. Who is that?
Yeah, again, it's on Tim. But that'd be Giants giving away a Lee bobblehead. And, he's hitting right. I mean, what else are you going to say?
What the heck? Add it to the cart. There we go. All right. It's on its way.
Yeah.
Coming to a port near you.
The only player, Glenn, the only player I saw that I recognized at the Fan Fest yesterday is they had Jeffrey Leonard. That was the only one I saw. Half the people there probably didn't even know who he was.
Yeah. Probably not.
If they were under 35, probably.
Let me see. Do I want to go to the Fan Fest or should I stay home and watch the Giants in Kansas City on TV in college basketball? I don't know. Tough decision. It's just some of these things. I mean, the other thing too, and then I won't talk anymore about the great marketing, but we talked about the bobblehead with the Dodgers. The other thing I discovered is when the Dodgers are in town the second time on the Friday night, fireworks night. So fireworks night are a pretty popular night. Why would you do it when the Dodgers are in town? Again, doesn't make any sense. You have a bobblehead one time when the Dodgers are in, which will be ripped off bonds to be thrown on the field. And then you have a fireworks night when the Dodgers are in town. It's like, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's just unbelievable. Like, but
it's a weekend series. Friday night, they have every home Friday night game is fireworks. So it's just
but these are actually real fireworks.
Will B said that bobblehead is him. He says, I'm worth $15. Woo! Woo! Hope you're feeling better, Will.
And guys, and one last thing. We talk about spring training, the Giants, especially Robert, how excited he is. The Giants are having a winning record. I know the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe, are 5-9. And I'd rather have their starting lineup starting pitching than the Giants. So just to show you how spring training really doesn't mean much. Philly and the Mets are going to be pretty good. So, take it for what you guys want. Spring training is spring training.
I don't know. Mets
most of the pitchers are just swerving on stuff.
Mets starting rotation. They're down Mania and Frankie Montas.
Frankie Montas will be out just as long as Hill, I should say.
Yeah.
If they don't have any complications, I think they said 3 months. Eduardo Rodriguez with the Diamondbacks had the same. The reason why I know, I picked him up from freaking fantasy, not knowing that he was going to be out half the damn season. He was out half the season. So
yeah, that stuff's a mess, man. And if you miss spring training, it's rough because it takes you a full month and you have to go minor league rehab stints and all this other stuff. And it takes a while. So we'll see how that ends up for the Mets, but not a good start. I mean, look, if you're a Giants fan, you're probably like, hate to see anybody get hurt, but down 2 starters, Montas and Mania, could hurt the Mets for one of the wild card spots. The only way the Giants have any shot of making the playoffs this year is if they have good luck on the injury front and other teams do not that are better than them. That's it. So in a situation like the Mets, who are better, down 2 starters, could play a role in the Mets not having the start they had planned on. So we'll see.
Tell me if I'm off base on this. I'm watching the preseason games, and I had texted somebody today. We were texting back and forth about today's ball game, and they're like, "Geez, man, they're hitting bombs again today." I said, "Yeah, this preseason they've been living on that long ball.
The ball flies in Scottsdale."
But wait, I said, now you get back and it's going to be cold and damp the first month of the season over there at Oracle, but you're back at Oracle. I said, oh God, I hate to throw out Robert's name, but the fans get so
it's okay to be excited for baseball, right?
Yeah, but they jump on the train and I'm like, it's going to
you got to take it. You got to understand what are you competing against? What is the level of competition? What are they working on? Again, it's practice. But you want to see individuals, right? You want to see individuals taking care of business. That's what you want to see. But as far as records are concerned, it means absolutely nothing, man. That means
especially when they're split
nothing.
squads. When they're
and
split
especially
squads.
if they're split squads. Exactly. The level of your talent has been divided in half.
Guys, I've been pretty good. I've had about 6 good ones already, so I'm going to call it a night. I just want to say thanks, Dan, for having me, Glenn. No, I'm kidding.
Nice. But
hey, I want to bring up something about spring training, guys, because we talk about spring and guys that get off to great starts. It is spring training. Crazy things happen. Back in 1977, a guy by the name of Randy Elliott made the San Francisco Giants in spring training. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Hold on, I messed up there. We'll show that maybe later, but I will show you this article about Randy Elliott and where is it when the Giants come? Okay, blast from the past. See this highlighted there? Elliott came in as a non-roster invitee. He was smoking hot. He had hit 29 hits in 53 at-bats with 18 extra base hits, hit over 500, close to 600 in the spring. The guy was on fire, and he was a flop when the regular season started. It just fizzled. You guys brought up how the ball flies in Arizona in the spring, and then you get to San Francisco where it's a balmy 55. It's like, come on.
It affects the ball, absolutely.
I always remind people a little bit of that.
Just remember, Brett Pill, he won a starting role on the roster out of spring training. There's a few others out there. There was a Korean guy. I can't remember what his name was, right? He was freaking absolutely killing the ball. This is about 10 years ago. And they got him on the roster, but he didn't last very long. It's spring training, right? It's
how the game's changed, Eric. Dallas tells us Randy Elliott hit 240 and was cut. Now half the team hits. I mean, that's Matt Chapman's career batting average right there.
Right. I mean, hey, Willie Adames is right in that same. It's in the same boat, guys. So
yeah,
I understand batting average isn't quite the same as it used to be, but batting average is batting average. It's how, when you get a hit, how often is it successful, right? There is something to it. It's going to be interesting, though. I mean, we're sitting here talking about the fifth starting, the fifth spot in the rotation. Again, it's going to change as each turn in the rotation occurs, and then this guy's going to be like today. Roop, you're talking about Roop, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. He looked pretty bad today. Hicks, according to Marty, looks like he was just out there just getting some work in. Again, you're playing the Padres. You're not going to give them your secrets. They're not going to give away state secrets, is what I said when he's facing the Padres. It's your division rival. You're going to face him a lot more than you're going to face anyone else. So he's probably just out there just getting the ball over, building up his arm. So I'm not too worried about Hicks.
Good point here by Aaron. If someone dominates, it's like, don't get too excited in spring training. But if someone struggles, alarms are sounding. Yeah, good point. Yeah, wasn't it Webb? Was it last year? He had a horrible spring.
Horrible spring.
Yeah, he just couldn't get anybody out.
And how about Brandon Belt? That guy was a notorious, like a Babe Ruth of spring training. Notorious. But what does it mean?
Zito had the worst spring training.
Looking good.
His ERA was, I think, 16, and then his first game was at Coors Field. The Giants had lost 3 straight, and he pitched a 2-hit shutout.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
But
I'll tell you, the Giants are in a maybe in a decent situation this year because they can. To me, I think it could be a win-win situation if they play well and play above their heads and stay in it for a while. That'd be good to be a little more exciting for us Giants fans, and certainly better for our shows. But if they are not so good, guys like Robbie Ray could get dealt early to a team that, you talk about a team like the Mets losing Mania or the Yankees losing a couple of starters down. And, teams like that can afford a $25 million salary. Maybe the Giants could, if things aren't going well, they can move some of these guys off and start getting younger and let's hope it goes well and that they actually are exciting. I don't know how they're going to do yet. I do think it'll be more watchable baseball, whether they're winning or losing. I think they'll be more watchable. I just got a feeling. I know the strikeouts are going to be annoying. It's going to happen. I guarantee the strikeouts are going to happen. It's not like they're going to all of a sudden, Tinkerbell comes and throws some pixie dust on these guys and they start making contact. These guys that strike out 25% of the time, they're going to be pretty doggone close to it. Chapman, Adames, they got career stats. Yaz, they strike out. And wait till the starting pitchers are actual real starting pitchers throwing their stuff. And it's not some Yodo guy from, Double A that's coming up and just getting some innings in the third inning. And these guys are teeing off on some of these guys. The stuff moves a little different all of a sudden when the games start.
When the bell rings, man, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, Eric and
Dan, you
Eric
couldn't
and
hit
Glenn,
a change up. I could with 4 or 5 bats in my hand.
Eric and Glenn, me and Dan.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
Sorry, I was just going to say, me and Dan talked about. We have a thing that we've been talking about with the Giants called Derby, Kentucky Derby Day. If you look at the schedule, the Giants start on the road, can be very tough. But as I pointed out to Dan, we play 17 days in a row. No days off. It's sort of a weird first month of the season. And this is where the Giants are going to have to stay close and be competitive because it's one of those things where, there's a road trip part of this 17 where you go to the Yankees and you go to Philly back to back. You don't know how the weather's going to be. It's going to be brutal, especially being on the East Coast where, who knows if it's going to be snowing, rain delays, possible made up double headers. And, that's the one thing we're worried about, and it's something that, me and him talk about where, Robert says you face who's on the schedule. Okay, well, then look at our schedule and stop thinking. I think what the Giants got to do, and this is what me and Dan talk about, is go like a quarter of the season. And what's realistic for the first quarter of the season? Can we be 20-21? Can the Giants be maybe 17-22, but playing competitive ball? Because the later on it goes in the season, the tougher it gets. Adjustments, pitchers have caught up to batters, everything else. I mean, like last year, the one thing that I really sort of got sick of, and I fell into it, is after the All-Star game, and it might have been the trade deadline, guys, don't worry about it. We have 4 at Colorado, and we're home for 2 against like the White Sox or something like that. And what happens? We're home and we get taken. We go 1-3 in Colorado, and then we lose 2 to the White Sox. Well, Here it is. We've been talking about this a month ahead. And I think in baseball, too many people look ahead. You got to go with the series. And the best thing to do is try to win series. Try to win series. Try to stay competitive and stay close. And I think that's really the start. This might be the first time in about 4 or 5 years where really the start of the season is going to be, the most important probably since 2021. We have to stay competitive and we got to stay close. And
Dan, what gets you fired up about this season when you consider that we added Willie Adames to the same lineup and we lost Snell, but we added a 42-year-old that I'm not high on. So don't you see that? Isn't it a similar ball club?
Oh, hold on, guys. I got a phone call coming in. Oh, it's Robert Rothberg. Oh, hey, Robert. How are you doing? Oh, you want me to tell Lou after the first 40 games, the Giants will be 38-2. Okay. All right. We just heard from Robert Rothberg, who just called. Lou, Robert said the Giants will be 38-2 after 40 games. Don't throw out this 20-2 20 crap or 17 and 23 crap. 38-2. Thank you, Robert Rosberg.
I thought he was calling you you had some kind of pull to get his World Series tickets this year.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Thank you, Robert, for that phone call, by the way.
Hey, Glenn, I think the one thing that Dan has been talking about is the stench of Farhan is gone, and that's probably worth 5 to 8 more wins. Especially all the negative stuff of Farhan, and one of the things me and Dan talk about is him being with the Dodgers. Maybe he can spread some of his stench to the Dodgers. Why would the Dodgers doing so well actually hire him back? It doesn't make any sense. But that's just, what me and Dan talk about. We're getting rid of the stench of Farhan. It's got to be worth, 5 to 8 wins and better attitude.
Well, Farhan may be gone, but they're already talking in this preseason. And actually, just before we were on the cusp of preseason getting underway, they're already talking about playing platoon baseball. They don't know who. Lamont Wade's going to play first, and he's going to play the outfield. And then they've got Encarnacion, who I was high on, going to play first, going to play the outfield, going to DH. Wilmer's going to play first and DH. Matos is going to play right. Why can this organization not come up with a freaking lineup, pencil it in, and the fans know when you go to the ballpark, here's what you're going to see. That's the only thing that you may say Farhan's got, but that's Farhan baseball. They're screwing around with flipping guys all over the field, and it really irks me more than anything else to see when and I'll bring him up because he's my guy. Wilmer a couple of years ago. Was it last year or the year before? I've told you about this before, Dan. You know the series well enough. When he spent a week, he was the hottest hitter in baseball.
Oh.
And then they benched him. Yep.
He was the hottest hitter in baseball. He had 4 home runs in Cincinnati.
Yep.
And the next day he was on the bench. So
me and Dan were talking about that on the show, going, what the hell's going on?
Yep. 2 days in a row he was on the bench because the Giants were facing a right-handed hitter. And they were into that platoon crap. Farhan and Kepler.
They're going to play that game again this year. I'm telling you right now, they're going to start playing that game. Lefty, righty. Oh, can't have this guy in today.
They already, They're going to do, and what I don't like about this is Matos. Look, this is why the organization is not a forward-thinking organization. Yaz is a free agent. He's 34. He's not part of the future. Matos is. Correct. And Matos needs to play daily to get that rhythm going. He hits right-handed. 74% of pitchers are right-handed. I read a stat of all the innings pitched in the 24 season, 26% was by left-handed pitchers. So obviously 74% were right. So what does that mean? Yaz gets 74% of the bats.
Yes.
Matos gets 26%, and you stifle a young player part of your future. Why? Look, I'm all for Yaz getting his shot against righties, and if he starts excelling and he's having a great year, go with the hot hand. But this back and forth, to me, Matos either plays or trade him.
And how about this? Matos got to the big leagues, right?
Yep.
And how did he get to the big leagues? Who was he hitting against? He wasn't just hitting against lefties. You talked about it. I mean, that stat pie could be throughout entire baseball, whether it's in the Pacific or in Latin America. You're facing right-handers, so you're showing talent. I mean, it's just, I can't understand. If you go back to the days, not that long ago, right? You didn't bench a player because of his handedness of where, come on. Look, I understand if you want to do that for a player coming off the bench. You got a huge moment in the game. You got a lefty specialist in there. You got a guy on your bench who crushes lefties. Okay, yeah, it's good. Or vice versa. You got, for a perfect example, how about Matt Stairs, right? He was your prototypical. That's the late inning guy. You want him to freaking hit against freaking righties, right? Because he was a lefty. Was he a lefty or right? I can't remember. But he was the guy.
A lefty, yeah.
So he was the guy that came off the bench, and if you wanted some damage to be done, boom, you bring him in, and more times than not, he's going to do something good. It doesn't make sense to me. If they got talent, you play them, no matter what side of the plate that they freaking bat from. It drives me insane. Yeah. That's the part of baseball that just I start losing it, because now you're just getting fancy with the spices. Just let the guy go out there and play. Come on.
And when the Giants do that on a continual basis, when you start trying to platoon and play all these shenanigans, it's as if, and I don't think I'm wrong here, it's as if they're trying to find a way to needle out and steal victories.
Yeah, with very
the team is not good enough. That's the bottom line. Why can't you just play your best players? Are they not good enough? You got to be playing these games and try. Well, it gives us an advantage. The advantage should be, look what we did in the offseason. Look at the team we built. 1-9. There's our advantage. But we never have that advantage.
To your point, and to Dan's point, when you use the example of Matos and Yaz, how are you going to know what you have in Matos if you never play the guy? If he's only coming in every certain so often, how do you know? Then you can't say at the end of the 2025 season and say, yep, we know what Matos is, when you really don't know, because you had Yaz playing majority of the games. It's stupid. You ain't going to know what you have until you play him. And that's my issue, is just go out there and play him. And if he doesn't have the ability to do it, well, then you move on. You find somebody else, because Yaz next year is not going to be a Giant, more than likely.
They knew what they had a year and a half ago when he came up, and he was, again, I use the term, the hottest hitter in baseball. Player of the week. What do you have, 16 RBIs in 1 week? They knew what they had, but then they start screwing around because they got a deal on the Bonanza bus line. They're send them back over to AAA. They're moving these guys around. Now, I don't want to see that this year. Don't want to see that at all.
No, I don't.
But I'm with Eric. I'm with Eric. If you look, even the pitching staff, guys, this pitching staff 2 years from now, the majority of 80% of these pitchers won't be on the roster. I wish they would build a future with the players that they have, or trade to get new players, but develop a future. They keep putting Band-Aids on a leaky boat.
That's the issue. Yeah.
Hey, I got something for you guys. We're facing a right-handed pitcher. Okay. I've got a lineup for you. You tell me which lineup you want to go with. The Giants platoon right-handed. I got third base, Gillespie. Shortstop, Crawford. Second base, Wisely. First base, Wade. Catching, Patrick Bailey. Right field, Yaz. Center field, Jung-Hoo Lee. Left field, Grant McCray. And our DH, Michael Conforto. All one-time Giants. Okay, remember, we're facing a right-handed pitcher. Okay.
Correct.
Or we could go with an outfield of, how about if we go with Mays, Clemente, and Aaron, and our infield of Pujols, Kent, Jeter or A-Rod, and third base, we'll go with Mike Schmidt. Catching, we'll go with, let's just give us a real Giant, we'll go with Buster. And DH, heck, we'll go with another righty, Orlando Cepeda. Which lineup do you want? Do you want the all-righty lineup versus a right-handed pitcher, or do you want that platoon advantage?
Right.
And that's the mindset of the Giants. They'd rather have a platoon rather than just play the best hitters.
Play the best hitters. Right. And then when it comes time, when it gets late in the game, or if it's at a crucial time of the game, it's say the bases are loaded and it's in the fourth inning or something, and say, hey, this is the time to break the back. Yeah. Well, then go to your specials. I get it. But for the most part, play your best guys.
You used to see guys that didn't come in to pinch hit until usually the seventh, eighth, and ninth. Yep. And it was always you tried to get the platoon's advantage there. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're facing a tough righty. Let's bring in this lefty, or vice versa. Now the Giants are pinch hitting in the third, fourth inning.
Yeah. That was classic under Kapler.
Oh my goodness. And now we know it really probably wasn't even Kapler.
No, it wasn't. We know who it was. But that's gone. So that's the good thing. So again, we could circle back. Yes, I think that the Giants are going to be better this year for the simple fact there's a better odor in the clubhouse There's a better philosophy. That's going to steal you a few wins. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Right. That's going to steal you a few wins. Is it going to make them a playoff team? Well, to be determined. I don't think so. But hey, you never know, man. Baseball's funny.
Yeah.
Baseball's funny. You brought up the 2021 season. No one saw that coming.
No one saw that coming. Nobody even predicted 90 wins. Probably nobody even predicted 85 wins. I bet if you go back and look at the over-under for that team, remember they were coming off a 2020 season. They were Buster didn't play that year during the COVID year, so they were 29-31. So I'm sure it gave 5 extra wins at least for Buster. So I bet you the over-under was 84.5, right in there, 84, 85.5. I bet you that's what it was. And they come up with 107. So freakier things, flukier things can happen.
Yes.
And yet, and so the
it's
Giants,
not indicative of the health of your club.
Right. Look, everything went perfect that year for the Giants. Everything. Even the guys that came in and stepped up, guys in injury situations were getting clutch hits. It was just a magical year.
That's what they'll need this year.
Exactly. They will need that type of year to win 90.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They end up winning 90 and you watch.
Oh, Lord.
Arizona, Dodgers, Arizona.
Anthony,
the other teams are that's one thing our fan base seems to forget. Look what we got in our look what we don't forget. There's another team they got to play.
Yep.
And we're probably the toughest division in baseball, man. It's
Anthony hell would have froze over before Roger Craig pinch hit for Will Clark. Look what he did against Mitch Williams in the 89 playoff.
My high school teacher was playing that game during class.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was awesome, dude.
That's awesome. High school teacher, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the days when the Giants were good, when we were in high school? Everybody was all excited.
Oh, yeah. They're all excited about that, man.
Yeah. Do you think they wouldn't go down today if the Giants were in a tough game?
No.
There wouldn't be.
Nope.
There wouldn't be that would just, Jeez. You guys want to get into this article with Susan Slusser?
Yeah.
We started with pitching. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, right. This is kind of interesting because she had another pitching column last week. Remember talking about Corbin Burns?
Yes.
Had some quotes from Corbin Burns. We had a special show just on that.
Mike asked this question. Let's real quick. We will show you a highlight here. That's a play by Casey Schmidt, the hot corner today. I do have a highlight I posted. Oops, it's up this way. Sorry. Hold on. Where is it? Here it is, guys. I caught the replay of it. Let me blow that up. This was today, Cubs, Giants. Stabalos hit a
Boosh.
Winning home run, go ahead home run, 3-run blast. Here it's a good shot of it. Boom! Look at that.
Out to the berm.
And this guy was the Giants got in the trade for Jorge Soler. He's got some pop. So is he? I don't know where he's going to be. Probably AAA, I guess. I don't know where they're going to play him.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Schmidt's at AAA.
I never even heard of the kid until today, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah. He's got some pop. I know I've heard Cody talk about him, and he's I think he's got some I think he's got maybe kind of high on Sabalas, like potential there. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, let's get into this deal with Susan Slusser. I don't know if you've got the article there.
No, do you want me to grab it?
Yeah, grab it from. You're the only one that she hasn't banned.
You guys, man. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if I could get it through, because sometimes they blocks you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get.
I pulled it. I can
not
actually
blocking, but the firewall. Ooh,
okay.
We're good.
All right.
No firewall.
Dan, you mentioned something earlier in the show about players who don't get a solid spring training in. And that's exactly what happened with Snell last year. And the fact that he was
and
8, and you know how rough a start he had. He had a terrible first half. And the fact that he posted a 3.12 ERA last year.
1.45 second half.
He started 0-6 with an ERA of 8. 0-6 ERA of 8.
The fact the Giants wouldn't even talk to him. And I don't know if it says in your article, I was doing some reading earlier, but apparently he was reaching out to Bob Melvin, and Melvin ghosted him, didn't reply. So,
are you kidding me? Well, I guess
read the article. It's in this article.
It is? Go ahead then, guys. Yeah. Go ahead.
Here we go. Dodgers Blake Snell on leaving San Francisco. The Giants didn't even talk to me. Again, by Susan Slusser. Came out today, guys, courtesy of the San Francisco Chronicle. Let's see. Blake Snell's tour of the NL West brings him now to Los Angeles after stints with the Padres and the Giants. Okay, okay. Let's okay. And then ouch, after a month before he signed with the San Francisco Arch Rivals for 5 years, though he had hoped he would have at least some interest from San Francisco. Doesn't start out very well, right? In the brief stretch he was a free agent, Snell said on Sunday, today, the Giants didn't even talk to me. It was surprising. I thought they really liked me. This is new.
This is pretty blunt.
Snell is particularly tight with the Giants manager Bob Melvin, who is also Snell's manager in San Diego, and he's good friends with team leaders Matt Chapman and Logan Webb. I know Bob loves me, and I'm really close with Logan and Chappie. So I was shocked. I thought they'd come after me right away. I really liked it there. I was happy there, but they never even said anything to me. I texted Bob and he didn't reply, and Bob always replies to me. So I kind of had a feeling, but it was weird, especially with all the other teams that were interested in me. Well, let's talk about that. What is that about?
Well, do you think that the San Francisco Giants just kind of bowed out right from the get-go? Because don't forget, Snell walked out on them last start of the year. Why? I'm going to free agency. So maybe they said, you know what?
Some bad blood, maybe. That's possible. That's a great point, Glenn. But still,
they'll be crying and saying, "Oh, they didn't want me," when you walked out on them.
Well, look, and I agree with you, but Snell was freaking dealing in that second half of the season. Why wouldn't the Giants at least check in? Why doesn't he return? Why is it freaking, communication blackout? That's a little bit weird,
Let me take to Snell's defense here in this situation. All right, let me paint a picture here.
Court is in session.
He just watched the Giants do the court Matt Chapman, who was in the same situation as he was in, an opt-out, and they went and talked to him and signed him at the beginning of September to a 6-year deal. Right. And then he watched that. They didn't approach him. And then he's on the last day of the season scheduled to pitch. And he's like, if I'm him, I'm not pitching that last game. What do I got? Everything to nothing to gain and everything to lose. If I blow out my arm, I get $30 million the next year. And maybe I never get a bigger contract. That was worth $150 million. He signed for 182. So that's at least 150 more million.
Right.
He got, well, really, yeah. So the Giants weren't in any kind of contention. So I think if the game was on the line, it meant something like a possible playoff berth, Snell would have pitched. But in his defense, if the Giants aren't trying to even talk to you and say, hey, we're interested in you coming back, you have any interest? I would say the same thing with Snell. Screw you. I'm thinking of my future. I got maybe 5 to 7 years left in this game. I'm going to make my money. So it goes both ways, I think, because he did see what they did for Chapman.
That makes sense. And they got the same agent, right? Same agent.
Same
so,
agent.
they're talking, and he
But
even says,
it's not just Snell. They never seem to be aggressive. And we just came off the heels of reading the article a week ago about Corbin Burns, where he's saying the same thing. He's like, yeah,
they're dragging their feet. Yeah. And
Who do you think? Who do you guys think pissed off Susan Slusser? I mean, she's been coming out for 3. But this is like the 3rd article that's kind of put the Giants in a bad light. Do you think somebody? I mean, is she not getting the top story anymore? It's going to Alex, or what's going on? Or Baggerly? Is she 3rd in line now, and she's a little upset because she's going and getting her stuff from other guys that left the team. She's not getting her stuff from inside the Giants clubhouse.
No, she's not.
Well, it's a little more sizzle to these stories.
Yeah, I mean, great point, Dan. She's reaching out to Corbin, she's reaching out to Blake Snell and talking to these guys to get their side of the story, which is fantastic. I think that's great. Why not?
Right.
But it makes the team look bad.
It does. But hey, I mean, maybe something's just going on we don't know about. It's a little bit weird, but and here's another thing, Glenn, to your point of what you were talking about. I mean, he's best buddies, and same thing with Dan. They're best buddies with Chapman, supposedly. So of course, there's some communication going on talking about his extension. Hey, maybe the Giants are gonna, try to offer me something here in the offseason, and they didn't offer shit. So that's, I mean,
Anthony brings up Laura Britt is better than Susan in more ways than one. That's all I got to say.
All right. What do we got here?
All right. I want to say something about this. When did Farhan get fired?
October.
Right after a day after the season, Monday after the season.
Correct. So when you think about this, I think the Giants might have fired Farhan because Farhan bought Snell, was communicating with Snell. I think Snell heard that Farhan was probably fired the week before, probably a day after when Buster got in and they signed Chapman. Then, typical Giants, there was a free-for-all. Farhan's going to get fired. Let's work on things. They hired Buster. If you remember, Buster then was looking for a scout or whatever. They didn't promote within. A month went by. The most important person on the Giants, nobody spoke to, and he walked. And where does he go to? He goes to the Dodgers. I think it was Giants completely dropped the ball because there was nobody in charge.
Well, here, to your point, Lou, look what it says right here before we get further in. There were a lot of teams after me. This is talking about Blake Snell in quotations. I just thought it was weird that the Giants were one. It's the same thing with Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns said the damn near almost identical statement. This is just weird. And Lou, they're dropping the ball on some of this, right? If you want to sit there and talk about pitching and defense and you let 2 of the 5 best starting pitchers on the market just walk without even trying, that's dereliction of duty, right?
Part of it that I think is, if you want to just, what I think it comes down to? They had just signed in December, right? They signed Willie Adames to the most lucrative contract. I think the Giants operate with tight purse strings. They knew what they wanted. They knew they needed a shortstop. And I think they just don't have the money to go around. And they just, and maybe that's their way. They admit it. They know it. They don't go after anybody. They got their man. They paid money for Adames, but that was it. Then weren't too fussy about Burns. So what do, Eric? They pivot quickly and sign, like Lou said, a pitcher who's like, you sure you're looking for me? Yeah, sure. I'll go there. So again, is this a cheap ass organization?
Oh, and look at this. This is more shots fired by, go to your point, Glenn, more shots fired here by Susan. Listen to this. Making it all more difficult to figure the Giants now under Buster Posey are leaning heavily into pitching and defense. Just exactly what I said. I didn't read the article ahead of time, guys, just so you know. Losing Snell, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, seemed counterintuitive. And as it turns out, he was less expensive and signed for a shorter deal Then another San Francisco target in Corbin Burns. Snell likes the moves that the Giants made too, especially when they improved the defense by adding Willie Adames, a good friend of Snell's from their days in Tampa Bay. He's an outstanding human being, the best. So you got Corbin Burns, who played for Willie Adames. You got freaking Blake Snell, who played with Willie Adames. And you can't get either of them, who, again, both pitchers are fantastic. It's a little bit weird, man.
I think she's throwing some shots at Greg Johnson.
Maybe.
I think she's pointing out that the Giants, look, everybody knows in the Bay Area that's associated with the Giants and around baseball that the Giants are loaded with cash. Everybody knows it. The Giants are the only team now in the Bay Area, with the A's being up in Sacramento. The A's are limited to 14,000 people going to a game. All right. So, and the majority of those are all up there in the Sacramento area, surrounding area, within probably 45 minutes of Sacramento. Right. So either way, draw a circle around Sac and 45 minutes. That's where everybody's coming from. Not, there might be a few holdovers from Oakland that got their season tickets. Maybe there's 500 people that'll do that, whatever. But the majority's up there. So the Giants are loaded with cash and they're doing nothing with it. But sitting there, banking on their property, knowing that, look, hey, we can get people into the stands. We can do these $9 tickets. We can do these $7 promotions that they ran in the off season. All these tickets that are getting bought are $7 and $9. And it's the 7,000 season ticket holders that have bought, the tickets that are getting the screw job, because they can't sell those tickets and get their money's worth unless the Giants are super, super competitive and they want to sell their Dodger tickets, which is the only way the Giants can make any money, or when they play the Red Sox. That's about it. So I don't understand the Giants' mentality. When they had 28,000 season ticket holders back in their heyday, when they were winning World Series championships, they didn't have to do anything. The product on the field sold itself, and there was excitement.
Yes.
And now the Giants are just stuck on all this, mediocre stuff. I don't get it. You could have had Snell or Burns. One of those guys should have been a shoo-in, and they probably had the money to get both.
Yeah, right. Good point.
And Snell was, in a way, was a guy that wasn't going to cost you any draft picks, right?
No, he wasn't. Correct. He was one of the good starting pitchers out there that would not cost you the 2 draft picks.
And basically signed for what, 35, 36 million a year. Giants were paying him 30. What's, an
extra 5 on top. I know. Means, in the scheme of things, it means nothing.
I said to Eric the other day on a show that, and Lou might be able to attest to this, because you go to some home games, even though you don't want to, like you said, Dan, the team they're the product. They sell that. That's what sells the tickets. But I said to Eric on the show the other day, usually Bernice and I can get to 5, 6 out-of-town stadiums every year. We always go to San Diego. We like going over to Arizona. We usually go to spring training. This year it didn't work out for us. There's no atmosphere before the game in front of our stadium or around the stadium. It's bland. And Eric, I've said this countless times on our show. I say the Giants, the whole atmosphere around that thing is like black and white, when everybody else is like it's in high def and it's exciting. And ours is so bland. They have a couple of little tents out front that they're paying to be there, giving away whatever the hell they're giving away, a booster juice. And you go to these other stadiums, you go to Texas or you go to Arizona, you go to all these places, the kids are getting face painted and there's lots to do for kids. We got nothing for kids. I just wish they would make more of a day of it. And not just
experience. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, there you go. Make memories. Make family memories, Eric. But they just don't, I don't know. Maybe again, it's the marketing. Lou, Giants baseball.
Yeah, nothing like it. Thank God there's only one. I'll tell you, even Momo's.
Hey, Lou, look at that comment that you got there from Aaron.
Oh, that won't be bland. That's going to be exciting. I was thinking about that today. I'm all excited. We're only, what is that now?
Dan, you're not.
Terrible.
Oh man.
NorCal Sports Network is not responsible for any other views held on this show by the WNBA or the Valkyrie.
The views expressed of those of the speaker.
Yes. But
Glenn, I think the good point is when you go to a Sharks game down in San Jose, they close the street down. They have bands. They get people fired up for the game.
Oh, I said that to Eric the other day.
I mean,
we were watching the video
as soon as you're on the grounds, everything's good. The problem right now when you go to the Giant games is Momo's used to be the place that's half full, and then there was a Mexican place, Rob and something else. That place is 1/8 full, and you have more people in front selling illegal hats, stuff like that. It's just not packed. And then when you go inside. The other problem is they don't accept cash. They're doing, we're doing it because of the pandemic. Screw this bullshit. That was 5 years ago. Get back when you have cash. Yeah. Cash should be king. The other thing is just trying to get in the ballpark is so complicated these days where everybody's got, you got to try. They have two different apps. The problem with the Giants is if you have tickets to get in, you have to go on the ballpark app. But for you to get your 25% discount, you have to go to a Giants app. So people are trying to get apps. Most men over 60, an elderly, he doesn't even know what an app is. So he doesn't know where his tickets are. There's a delay to get in, and it sort of ruins the vibe. You get all excited for the game. They have no security out there either. You try to go to Willie Mays statue, you're getting bumped into, or, it's just, it's sort of lost its flair. Until you really get in and you get your dog or a bratwurst or whatever, and you get your beer and you get to sit in your seat, then you feel like you're at a ball game. But the problem with the Giants is, guys, it's Oracle Park. I mean, most people don't know if it's Oracle Park, SBC, there's so many different names. The ballpark is old. It's over 20 years old. Okay. So you just can't keep doing all your laurels on the ballpark. It's got to be the product that's on the field that's going to keep you coming back, and it's expensive.
They're making fun of the WNBA. Have you been down to that? I don't even know what you would call it, Lou. The concourse
when I go to the Warrior games.
The atmosphere.
They have great. Well, they just opened a brand new, the biggest sports bar in San Francisco is now down there. That was opened up. They opened it up a week before. The All-Star game, so you could be there. It's huge. It's packed. They usually do 5 of 7 days. They have some activity down there, but you have an owner that actually for the Warriors that cares, and he really wants to get the community. I don't know what the Giants do for the community now. I mean, you go on KMBR, the commercial leader, they have 2 different commercials, a car commercial with a K that you spell, and then you have another one for like Shriners. So you have 2 people competing against each other on the same network. It's ridiculous. They just don't know what they're doing. And I think the key it goes back
donate your car today. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got to get people to bring the youth in right now because most of the elderly are dead or they'd rather stay home. That's how it is. It's same thing with horse racing. The elderly are all gone. You got to get to the Generation Z that works.
Leave it to Mr. Salty to put the seniors are dead.
They're dying out there. You look at the average crowd, it's either in the bleachers, it's super, super young. They're there just to party. And when you look around,
that is true.
It's just, it's two different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that the bleachers are full of young people for sure. They are all out there, and they are definitely partying. I have something here. Do I have it here?
Where the heck is it? I don't see it. I know exactly.
What happened to it?
What happened to it?
What happened to that?
Oh my God.
Didn't take that out.
He took it out because I don't see it in there no more.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to go straight to that.
I am waiting for you. And I just remember, was it last Sunday night or sometime during the week? I said to you, want to see you get Ned Coletti on and talk about some
Tuesday night.
Sharks.
Good segue.
Ask them what the hell. I've seen teams try to build young. Did you see the trade deadline the other day?
Yes.
They traded the whole Dan. They traded the whole team. It's gone. Gone. Everybody.
I will talk to Ned about that.
They traded. They got a young goalie. He's gone. Everybody. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen, as I would say, it's the likes I've never seen before, Dan. I've never seen.
We will talk to Ned about that. In fact, Tuesday night.
Can't wait.
Watch Giants Sports Talk live at 8 o'clock.
I won't be in there.
At 9:30. We're not having Ned till 9:30. So he's got a class.
Okay.
He's got to teach. So 9:30, you guys will probably be just wrapping up or just getting started.
You never know.
And 9:30. So we'll have Ned Coletti on NorCal Sports Tuesday night, and I will definitely bring that up to him. In fact, you come into the chat and ask him yourself, and I'll put that up.
No, just ask him about say you got somebody in the chat who knows you're trying to rebuild young, but you just traded away all your young talented players there. They're gone. Did you see that, Lou? Do you follow the Sharks?
They've made more trades this year than the rest of the NHL combined.
How many guys they trade away?
Huh?
Yeah, Mike Greer.
How many guys did they trade away?
Oh, they traded 8 or 9 players just at the deadline.
Yeah, at the trade deadline, and they've already traded, I think, like 13.
They may trade all season.
They keep the big 4, but that's it. They're getting rid of, they're literally keeping their 4 studs and starting all up again.
What's the general manager's name of the Sharks?
Mike Greer.
Oh, that's my cousin. Yeah. Okay, that's why he's all the trades. Jeez, that's a lot of trades.
Is he calling everybody at 4 a.m.?
Maybe. Hey, I got an important question for you guys. Mr. Salty can hold off his comment. Do you guys put ketchup on your hot dogs with mustard?
Yes.
No. Just mustard.
Okay. All right. It's 2-2 here. I got just mustard. I put ketchup with mustard.
I do. It's
Lou,
a nice combo.
Yeah, it's a very nice combo. Then sprinkle some relish on there and some onions.
Oh, there you
go, man. Just had one last Thursday, a hot dog at Costco with a Pepsi for $1.50.
$1.50. Oh, by the way, they're getting rid of Pepsi. They're going to go with Coke soon.
No, I'm boycotting Costco.
I know. I couldn't believe it. They said that. Hey, it's not going to be Pepsi no more much longer.
No way.
Yeah.
You like those dogs at Costco?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
Oh my God. Every time we go down to El Camino there, we go to the Costco for you can get gas and the whole bit down there. I love the hot dogs or the pizza. Dan, the question is every time Bernice says, now I'm going to drive really slow. I'm like, no, don't drive slow. Go home fast. I usually don't make it at home. I get my legs crossed. I do not like those. Are so greasy. Look.
I don't understand this. They're doing away with Pepsi after all these years. Where am I going to get Pepsi?
There you go.
I don't drink a lot of Pepsi, but when
Taco Bell has Pepsi.
Geez, Pepsi's
this summer.
Man,
so
how would you like to be the salesperson that gets that job, gets that contract? Huh?
Oh yeah.
If you're a salesperson for Coca-Cola or Pepsi and you go in and make the big deal,
no kidding.
Costco used to have American Express too, which was my favorite card. Now I got to use their Visa card.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm kind of glad they went to Visa because a lot of people don't take American Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shoot, that's kind of a bummer. When is that happening?
This summer.
Yeah, it was announced last week.
There you go. Matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago when I went and I bought my dog and drink, it's gonna be Pepsi will be gone soon. We're going to Coke. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So
I cut that.
Dan loses it.
That's the one thing I enjoy, a nice diet Pepsi. Now and then. I don't drink a lot of soda because
yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm a water guy.
I got a lot of
water
coffee,
guy.
But not much soda.
It's your boy says Pepsi and Coke the same thing. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Pepsi's a little sweeter, I think.
Pepsi's a little bit on the sweet side, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it tastes a little fat.
Bring back the RC Cherry Cola, please. Thank you. RC Cola.
RC Cola was
RC
the
Cola
best.
was good.
It was.
I was just going to ask, what was your favorite Pepsi Coke drink?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You know what I loved growing up?
Slice.
And mug. Give me a mug root beer.
Mug old-fashioned root beer.
Or Dad's root beer. How about this? How about
root beer floats?
Craigmont was Safeway. Craigmont cream soda.
No, never had that. I like the IBC cream soda. That's good stuff.
Oh, IBC is very good. And the bottle.
Yes.
In the bottle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me the bottle. Yes. A&W.
Yes, Eric, a couple of months ago, when I was a kid, at school, you would get your fruit punch juice. It would come in a little, like a bag, a bag of milk. Well, picture it like a quarter or less of the size, and it would come with a little straw with a little sharp edge, and you just puncture the bag. You guys have that?
Capri Sun.
Yeah, Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
Hey, can I, without being, I don't want to sound chauvinistic here, but Harish 71.
Fresca is always solid.
Is that a male or female Harish? Because I always associated Fresca with a female drink. I don't know. Maybe it's because my mom used to drink it, and I didn't see a lot of people.
You were probably more of a squirt guy, Dan, and then the females drink Fresca.
No, I was 7-Up or Sprite.
See, I was a big squirt guy when you needed something to pick you up. Squirt was always solid too. Fresca was solid.
Hawaiian Punch in a can. That's just straight sugar, Anthony. Oh my goodness. That's just like drinking a freaking Slurpee.
Remember Jolt Cola? Woo!
Oh yeah.
There's Justin. Yep. Jolt.
I drink these during the show, right? I drink these during the show. I like to go with the bad boy.
Oh dear,
Fanta.
Good.
What kind of can is that? Let me see that top of the can. Is that a changed can? What is that?
Yeah.
Fanta's damn good though.
That's just a wall mount thing, huh? Just another one of your toys.
It's supposed to be for change, but somebody keeps raiding it. I think my daughter. Nothing in it.
Fanta is damn good.
Hey, there's some. Who's the guy that was telling me? Maybe it's you, Lou. Are you the guy that they have these little things that look like a flashlight or some kind of tool that you can load up your whiskey?
Oh yeah, no, I have two. I have one that is binoculars.
Binocular
types of booze. Two different types of booze you have in there because it doesn't go through the machines. If you go on Amazon, you can almost get in. The other one is suntan lotion. It looks like you have suntan lotion for day games, and it keeps alcohol cold.
Oh man,
Lou's got all the tricks.
It's all on
my
Amazon.
Goodness.
Are you a Dr.
I can't
Pepper
afford $40 for a shot of tequila.
I love this comment by Cliff.
Warm.
You could tell this team's not making the playoffs when we go from discussing baseball to debating the best soda and hot dog. Hey, nothing. Giants baseball, nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's Cliff with his number 23 Martinez jersey too. Little Sharks.
I know what our shows are going to be talking about in August. Hey, Costco's Coke is in now. Hey, get your Coke at Costco. Hot dog and a Coke, $1.50.
Hey,
better
guys,
not go up the price.
Before we close this out, because we're getting there close. Let's take predictions. Who did the Yankees pivot to get a pitcher, man? Because they're going to have to go get somebody. They're going to get somebody.
I don't know.
You're losing.
I think
Garrett
they go
Cole,
get somebody.
So you're losing
big.
your ace. They got to have someone big.
I say they go after Frankie, not Monta. I mean, they go after Alcantara.
Alcantara?
Yeah.
You think they come after the Giants for Ray?
No.
They'll probably call about.
I think
Webb
if they go after Webb.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would go after Webb.
But I think Alcantara.
Remember,
I think
Garrett Cole might be out 2 years. So you got to get somebody that's cheap, that's affordable. So the Giants are
Alcantara, $17 million.
And Webb's what, 14 or 12.7, but he's also 3 years on the books.
Yeah, but I don't think the Giants will trade Webb, and I don't think the Yankees have a whole lot to give, to be honest.
No, I was just going to say that. Yeah,
the Yankees farm system is not that good. They're probably
ranked really low. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, Yankees.
They're already at 304. They're already at 304 on this the 40-man CBT. So they're already paying.
You're asking us who's going to fill the Yankee pitching staff. I'm having a hard enough time figuring who's going to fill out our pitching staff, Dan.
I'm telling you, but they're going to have to get somebody. They lost their ace. They're losing their ace.
And your designated hitter.
For the Yankees.
And your designated hitter, yeah.
I think the Yankees move fairly quick. Like,
they got
Spencer Strider with the Braves. You see how they struggled last year when they lost him early. You better go get a guy. Go get a guy quick.
Do they go after Trevor Bauer, or is he persona non grata? I think he's persona non grata. I don't think he's playing a game again in the MLB. That ain't happening. I think he's done. I know he already signed with like the a Japanese team, right, or something like that. Yeah.
I'll bet you Senior talks about Spencer Jones. He's
I don't know.
He's 23, almost 24, and he's 46th ranked prospect, Baseball America, and 84 MLB. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe Miami gets a little more interested there. I wouldn't do it for Webb.
Tell Bam Bam Stanton's going to be gone. He's got double tennis elbow. He's not going to play the whole year.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out.
Yankees are, man, what a mess, as MF would say.
Take Baltimore or Boston to win the division.
Oh, I've got Boston. I got Boston winning this division.
I know they're trying to get an extension done with Crochet. I know that.
Look at the mess the Yankees are in. And if that was us, Robert would still have them winning 109 games.
Yeah, I think who might be available out there.
That's what I'm wondering. They're gonna have to make them. Is there any other free agent? I don't think they're really
nothing.
No, they spoke to Martinez today, and he said no.
Really?
As a DH, yeah.
Why wouldn't he want to be a DH in New York? He's in New York. He was playing for the damn Mets.
Yeah. Maybe they tried to go cheap.
Huh. Yeah, maybe because they're up there. They're spending a lot of money.
Hey, I just looking at this CBS Sports 4 hours ago. Possible trade candidates if their ace misses significant time. Top of the list is potential trades. Dylan Cease, Sandy Alcantara.
Oh, San Diego, yeah, Cease.
And Michael King, Eric Fetty from St. Louis. So those are the guys. So Alcantara's listed second. I could see Miami working with, it just seems like, the Dodgers, the Yankees, they just seem to get what they want, and everybody capitulates to them. Oh, you want Mookie Betts? Okay. Oh, how about Jeter Downs and Alex Verdugo? These guys are young studs up and coming. Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll give you Mookie. It's like Luka. Everything gets LA. Is LA the freaking cult capital of the world where all the star players go to and they just get gifted there. Happens over and over again in every stinking sport.
And if you think about it, they're in the same spring training area, right? They're all in Florida.
Tampa,
so
yep.
He just has
because
to
it's
look.
a destination. People want to go to a destination. San Francisco still is not a destination.
That's fair.
No, we end up
That
with
is
Scooter
fair.
Glass.
It could be a destination if they actually
Scooter
got.
Jr.
This is what I don't want to get into politics here. I'm not going to. I'm just saying if they cleaned up the entire city and made it really a strong tour. I mean, you think you'd want a bunch of tourists coming to your city? I mean, that's how you make money. You just do some things and clean up things, tighten up security, police, and you get your city one of the best. I mean, look, what's that one country, Eric, that turned itself around? That was it.
El Salvador.
El Salvador. Yeah, it was one of the worst places in the world to go to. I had a friend go there because his wife was over there working, and he went down to visit her. And he feared for his life. This is like 7-8 years ago. He's like, I can't even walk outside. I'm paranoid I'll get knocked off. And
Wow.
Nowadays it's a totally different country, different.
Yeah.
And San Francisco should be able to do that. They should be able to clean it up. This is America. Any city in the country should be able to clean itself up. And the Giants and the Warriors and the 49ers, it ought to be a conglomerate effort, putting money, a community effort.
Why wouldn't they? That makes sense, right?
And build the city up, and sports look how the city was when the Giants were winning world championships, right? They were going nuts. Everybody loved it. The Warriors had their parades in Oakland, and they had the one in San Francisco in 22. Look, and I'm just saying, clean everything up, bring in tourists. I used to love to go to San Francisco and just go to, my wife and I would walk over to, Fisherman's Wharf, Pier 39.
Yeah, absolutely.
We would just walk around. After all the news I've heard the last couple of years, I don't want to go there. And maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's false. I don't care. Perception's reality, right?
Dan, my boss from Minnesota was in town. The time I was late to the show, we went to a place called Skoma's right down in Fisherman's Wharf. It was half full. The wharf was dead as a doornail. Ghirardelli Square, which is still huge. We went there for dessert. Maybe a third full. Beautiful weather. You got to remember, you had the All-Star game that was in town and the Chinese New Year. So you had two huge things in the city, and it was dead.
That's crazy.
That's sad.
So,
that's sad because I'll tell you what, the city of San Francisco is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely.
And it is amazing. I mean, I've been to New York City quite a bit when I lived on the East Coast. New York, great place to go. San Francisco, look, LA, I hear people talking about LA in the chat. It is a dumpster fire in LA. Okay.
It is.
It's a mess.
But it's also 20 times bigger than San Francisco. Let's remember how big LA is compared to San Francisco.
It's huge. Yeah,
I think the biggest problem in San Francisco is they still never really recouped from the riots, the BLM riots that they had. And the other problem is downtown is still 36% empty. Where most like day games used to have, we have a mall right now, Westmall Mall, that has one tenant out of 33. They can't even sell it because of the permits, all the BS. The problem in San Francisco and specifically Northern California is that right now it's all because of Trump, the Trump syndrome. Starbucks are closing down. We have no Walgreens. Everyone thinks it's exaggeration. But walking around in San Francisco, I look both ways. When I get out of my car, I look both ways. You go to Safeway, everything's locked up. You go to a Walgreens, everything's locked up. And it's like that because of the crime. I don't care what they say. The crime is still horrible in the city. People, you go to most of the places you go to don't take cash anymore. Everything's with a card because so many people are getting pickpocketed. And, the problem with the city is we probably make 60% of our money from all the huge corporations that come in, Moscone 2, when we had the big conventions, except for Salesforce, we're still down over the last 5 years, like 40%. That's probably 25, 30 million. They've cut the budget for the police. And no matter what you do, you're wrong. That's sort of the motto around it. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I think it sort of hurts, the Giants, because so many people used to be able to take BART, or you walk from Market Street to the ballpark. It's about 12 blocks, but it's a nice walk. And you used to have restaurants every side of you. 21st Amendment, you have another one. But a lot of those places are shut down because because of the pandemic, where people work from home. There's not many people that are actually working, in offices. I mean, people around here, this Gen Z bullshit where they don't want to work 5 days a week, right? And you're making 200,000, you won't work 5 days a week. I'll work 5 days a week for half that, and people just become lazy in this city. It's just one of those things. It's a complete disaster in this city. So
it's a shame because, and it's, we're picking on San Francisco. It's a problem across the country in many cities,
big cities. Yeah.
But it's something that you would hope. I would love to see, as I mentioned, the sports teams get involved with the city. Everybody supports sports. All right. It's just, right. And if you do a community effort and say, look, we're here to,
that would be something,
clean up our city. And, the Giants put a ton of money, the Niners, the Warriors, they can throw millions at these, and it benefits the Giants too. And
it benefits everybody.
It benefits everybody.
Like Lou said a little while ago about the bar they opened up down there by the Chase Center. And Bernice and I sometimes will go there. We'll go to the restaurant and we'll watch the game outside. A night out. Cheap night out. Well, it's not cheap when you eat down there, but all things considered, it's a night out and it's clean. It's well secured. The San Francisco Giants just did all this marketing and building. Of course, Mission Rock, one big complex. There's no restaurants there. There's no, I think they're, again, I use this term often, maybe too much. They're their own worst enemy. They did nothing.
They could have done something really special. They could have done something really special there.
Absolutely.
And Glenn, the
and when you're
problem
going over to the ball game and you're taking not so much the J or the N, they got the hard shell seats. I said this to Eric and he didn't believe me. Lou, when I get on the BART train, especially, the only time I usually take the BART is just to go downtown or go over to the Oakland A games at the time. You have to push down on the seat. You don't want to sit down and get pricked by a needle. You got to keep your wits about you. Or when I'm walking down the street, when I leave here in Canada, I walk about here pretty. It's a free for all. Down in San Francisco, Lou's a bad choice, but Lou's walking toward me. I got a death grip on my cell phone. I don't trust nobody. And the same thing, you walk by, and I'm right away making sure that you're keeping walking. You're not going to clobber me. It's crazy. Yeah. And that's the good part. I live in the good part of town.
Yeah. And
you know what?
The biggest, go ahead.
You need Arizona laws. You need Arizona laws.
Here's the biggest problem. The difference.
I could be packing at any time.
Yeah.
And it's okay for it to be, I just forgot the term. It just went out of my brain there. What do you call it? I'm where it's not disclosed. I'm thinking of the
concealed.
Concealed.
CCW?
Thank you. There was a word. Concealed. Yeah. We don't even have to have our concealed weapons permit in Arizona. You can conceal.
You just carry.
Yeah. It's kind of like, have you ever seen the thing on Twitter in Texas? If somebody makes a noise and all of a sudden everybody's got their guns out. It's like, but I wanted to make a real quick point here about Anthony made a comment here and I lost it, but he said something about the town I grew up in is the same way. And that's true. Concord. I grew up in Concord in the 60s and the 70s, and it was the coolest place. I used to walk up to my schoolyard where I went to school at 4:35 in the afternoon. I'd just go out and shoot hoops by myself. And, this is when I'm 10 years old in 1971. I didn't have to worry about being kidnapped and never seen again. Today, you can't even leave your kids in your front yard without being watched.
Right.
So, I had a chance in 2019. My mom passed away. She lived the house I grew up in, and it went to my brothers and I. And, I had a chance to buy them out, and I could have, she was under the Prop 13, so it was like she paid nothing for property taxes. And you can get grandfathered basically, or if it stays in the family. And I thought about it. I thought about doing it and living there. And then I thought about it as an investment. Might have been a good investment, but it's just like, I didn't want to be in Concord anymore. It wasn't the same area I grew up in. There's just a bunch of transients walking around, and it's just sad, but that's probably why I'm in Arizona right now.
Glenn, I'll give you the biggest problem.
That's life, right? That's life.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the biggest problem between Chase when I go to a Warrior game or concerts, and I go to a lot of Giant games. You go to Chase, the main street that's on the water is Terry Francona Way. Goes both ways. They close it after the game and before the game. An hour and a half before, 2 hours after, strictly for Uber and Lyfts on one side of the street, and the one closest to Chase is for cabs only, no cars. So people know they do the Uber, they go right out, it's aligned. When you go to the ballpark, here's the problem with the Giants. Your phones work in the stadium. As soon as you cross the street, your phones don't work. So you got to walk 2 blocks up to actually get your phone to work. They have nothing for Uber or Lyft assigned. They have a taxi thing where they're supposed to have an employee for the city. He's never there. So it's total chaos. And they tell everyone, hey, take public transportation. Even the only thing they have security for is when you have Muni. And there, they sell the tickets, you can go on. But if you're an average person like me, where, Muni doesn't go to my house, I want to take an Uber, I got to walk up 3 blocks just to get a signal to get an Uber because they have nothing aligned. And when I tell the Giants, they go, oh, well, we have a map. And I go, okay, where's the map? Oh, we haven't put it up yet. It's the same thing. When you call Chase's main number right now, it'll tell you push 1 for Warriors, 2 for concerts, number 0, and you talk to an operator. When you talk to the Giants, they're still broadcasting the World Series from 2014, home of the 2014 World Champion Giants, and last year's last game, and they have no operator. And, they say, well, because of the, COVID was 5 fucking years ago, you morons. How can you have when baseball starts in less than 3 weeks and you're advertising on TV, Giants baseball, nothing like it? How can I not get an operator at least Monday through Friday? It's embarrassing, like it. Mm-hmm. And they have all they talk about is if you're calling about tonight's game, against the San Diego Padres, since it's fan appreciation. I mean, that's what it is. It's still a recording from 6 months ago. It's like, so, you got to remember, you get somebody in town who wants to go to a ball game. They're not sure. They're trying to get tickets. See if you tickets. They dial the main number 415-972-2000. And you hear that, it's like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on. How do I get a ticket? They make it difficult when it should be as easy as possible.
Amateur hour. Amateur hour.
Oh, Dan's listening on something. Once. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, Dan's listening to something. He's up to something.
We are actively prioritizing inquiries by game date and will respond to messages at our earliest opportunity. We encourage fans needing same-day assistance to visit the King Street box office. Our ticket services lobby at Oracle Park is open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and for home games, 3 hours before first pitch to the 4th inning. To receive a call back, Please leave a brief message with your name, game date, concern, and phone number. We look forward to assisting you soon. Go Giants. Please leave a message after the tone. After you are done recording, you can press pound for further options.
Oh, yeah, this is Shohei. I didn't sign with you guys because you didn't even offer me any money. You lied to me. Okay.
Oh my.
Go Giants.
Wow.
I was trying to remember that guy's name that was in Japan. I forgot the guy that's supposed to be coming over next year, the third baseman.
Murakami or something.
Oh, yeah, this is Murakami. I'm not coming.
Oh my God.
You know, I know this would be another show, but I think what's amazing, and then I'll be done for the night. It's amazing how we have 26 million that we're saving, but let alone we had enough money, 700 million for Judge to spend, 780 million for Ohtani, but now we can't spend anything. And now this, with all this bullshit where we didn't go talk to Burns or Snell, I don't think we ever talked to Judge. Because these reporters were all wrong. I don't think we ever even made an attempt with Ohtani. So don't believe anything the Giants say. They are worse than any other ex-wife that you might do. They're not going to tell you shit. It's pathetic. What did that one say? I didn't see that. Put that up. Is that what I was saying?
Mark. I think so, Mark.
Man just got banned forever getting credentials.
Oh, man. Just having a little fun.
I know.
Don't take it serious.
I still love the AI voice. Go Giants. That sounded so enthusiastic.
Yes.
So enthusiastic.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah, well, the Giant fan, the so-called fans at Oracle Park, they don't sound much more. Now batting. Yay.
Yeah.
No, the enthusiasm. Dan, I said maybe it was on this show, and I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but you ever watch a game in Japan or Korea?
In person or TV?
Or just even on TV? That's on my bucket list to see the atmosphere.
Latin
crazy.
Same way.
With those pads.
And at Oracle Park, anywhere in Major League Baseball for that matter, it's just like, yay. Like there's no atmosphere.
Product on the field that will dictate, right? That's kind of what it is.
And then they'll have a lockout, and then you know what? You better enjoy your baseball now because the lockout and the two sides. One's going to be, I think this is going to be a nasty lockout.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier this afternoon with Marty Lurie. I said, enjoy your baseball this year, guys, and next year because 27. It would not surprise me to see the players in the 26 season do a preemptive move late in the season. August, September, late August. So? Hey, say we want to.
That would be this year.
No, next year. Next year.
I think isn't it between the 25
and 26. December 1st is 26. So correct. When the contract expires. Players will get locked.
1 more year. Gotcha.
Players will get locked out if there's no deal on December 1st. So there'll be no signings that, like
off
this past.
Just coming
nothing
up
in the offseason.
Yeah.
Not this one, the next one. Yeah. But what I'm saying is it wouldn't surprise me next year before the season that the players try to boycott the playoffs and World Series to get the own, because that's huge revenue for the owners, is say, look, we're not waiting because the owners have already come out and said they're locking them out. They've already announced it. And we're talking 2 years before. So the players are only leverage they have is on the owners is the playoff revenue.
Not play.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they get pretty sour. Over on our channel, they get pretty sour in the chat with me when I say that, screw them. Screw the players. I think they're overpaid to begin with. And I've said, how many times have I said to you, Eric, it's getting out of hand. At what point, you can bend it, it's going to break. This is getting crazy. You're going to have You're going to have $1 billion contract before you know it, probably in our lifetime.
And you know what's funny is Marty made a good point earlier, right? Talking about the salary cap, so to speak. And the point he was making, out of 700 and plus players on 30 teams, you're only talking about a handful of players who are getting paid these big bucks.
Right.
So they're only the people who are getting paid are the super duper stars, right?
Right.
So, and then everybody else, how many?
Come on, Eric. What's minimum wage? About $800,000 for 6 months' work? They're all overpaid.
But
they're all getting the big bucks.
Yeah, but so are the owners. The owners are getting paid too. I mean, it's
the idea.
They own the business.
Right.
The
I like the idea of a minimum.
We get into that on our channel. Everybody says, no, the business is the players. I go, no, the business is the team.
I'll tell you what, I like the idea of a minimum where teams have to spend a certain percentage of their revenue.
Yes.
Yeah, but then they have to open up the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the revenue gets
that,
published. I don't know if it's factual, but teams are doing,
that's a good point.
But to me, it should be close to 150 million per payroll. And maybe a cap of there's something like 150 to 250, and it levels the playing field. I mean, you got teams over 300,000 and other teams around 80 million for their whole salary, their whole team.
It's gone up incrementally though, but that's always been baseball.
Look, they're trying to force they're trying to force the owner out of Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah.
And did you see who they're trying to get to buy it?
The DeBartolos, right?
Yeah.
Eddie D.
Yes. Junior.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what? Wow.
Ridiculous.
Oh, did you see the news earlier? Supposedly the Mets didn't offer the biggest contract to Soto.
No way.
Yeah. The Mets did not offer.
Did they say who did?
They didn't say who it was.
Toronto offered more.
Hey, it was the Blue Jays.
Probably.
That's nuts, man. I wonder what he turned down. Because look,
790.
The actual contract's 805. Because after 5 years, it bumps up another 4 million.
Jeez, 800 million. That's not gonna do well.
No, it's not.
That won't age well.
How old is Soto?
24, right? 25?
26? 26?
Something like that, right?
So that's 31 in Dan years.
Yeah, I got
because of where he's from.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, check it out. When he's going to look like Albert Pujols in about 7 years. He's going to be like this old grandpa.
Most of these guys who do sign the long-term big contracts after a couple of years, they're a shell of what they were. Pujols didn't take him long.
Yeah, I really don't think. I mean, seriously, I look at Juan Soto. He doesn't look like your typical 26-year-old to me. He just doesn't. Guys, just his bone structure. He just looks like he's closer to 30 to me. I mean, I see a lot of young kids that look. I mean, Willie Adames looks kind of young. I think he's legit. He's 20. He looks kind of, but I don't know.
See how this comes out here. I'm having fun with some grok here. Let's see what this looks like.
Oh, grok. Yeah. I tried to play with grok. I don't know how you do it. I asked it a question the other night, said, who am I? You know, and it comes up with,
it's not doing what I want. Oh, come on. That didn't even do it.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don.
All right. Well, with this hour stuff, at least for me out in California, I don't know where Glenn is. I'm a little beat, but 2 hours is good enough, I think, on the
that's right.
It's hot corner.
Yeah, we're all the same. We're all the same time now.
We're all the same time now. Yeah.
Except for Glenn. You're what? You're what is it? Almost 11 over there?
No, it's 11:56. So I'm going to be working for 5-6 minutes. I got to go to work.
All right, gotcha. let's get out of here. What are you working on? You working on?
What time is it there?
No, we're all 9:56 now.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got you sprung ahead, right? We sprung ahead.
Yeah, we sprung ahead.
We're small. Yeah. That's why I keep telling there, and not to be bitching about it, but oh man, when we start our show and it's after 10, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I know it's tough.
I mean,
And then I
got
got
feel the same way.
And then sitting here in the chair, my back gets bad, and now I'm gonna go and freshen up, and then I gotta sit in the chair for another 6 hours.
Yeah.
You got a horrible agent.
I'm only the only person I got to negotiate with myself.
Yeah.
No, we're not an hour ahead.
Oh, that's the
OG.
good part. I make the money; it's all mine. So,
All right, hey
Sometime
guys, next
Arizona.
week on the Hot Corner too. Maybe we can just talk a couple of minutes. It's also the brackets with March Madness, in case anybody on the
Yeah, there you go.
just something to look forward to.
Women's basketball, baby. Yes.
That
Oh,
we weren't talking about the
Looking
women.
forward to the show already. See you then, Lou.
hey, let's not forget on the next time we come on Hot Corner, me and Dan and Glenn will have our fantasy teams all set and
Oh,
ready
Jesus.
to go. Friday night, baby. That's going to be fun.
Are you doing
Friday
some homework, man?
I need to do more. I need to do more.
I think I'm going to fly blind this year and just show up. To
I
the
still
door.
think I want to make. I'm gonna have to. What's the word? Petition the commish. I still think there's been a lot of changes. I think wins should be
Might
more
bump it up.
important than
It saves.
holds.
And okay,
Holds.
fair.
Holds.
That's
I
fair.
think the holds is one of the few that you get them the hell out of there. The holds.
No, you want at least your
Eric, you're like the Giants. You're trying to create all the I've never been in a fantasy pool ever. I don't even know anybody who's in a pool where you get points.
You've only been in one, Glenn.
Well, I've been in a hell of a lot more than that.
But you know what? I might bump it up
A
to 3.
hold?
I'll bump it
Come
up to
on,
3.
a hold.
The starting pitching. Yeah, I think starting pitching should
How
be
much
more
for a
weight than
win?
a hold.
Yeah,
How much for
Clown
a win?
that makes
Clown
sense.
could come in and get one out and get a hold.
So a win's worth
Maybe
what?
I'll
5?
hold.
A win's worth 5, right?
No, we dropped it to 2. Now I'm
2.
gonna bump it up to 3.
So a hold's worth 1, but the win's worth 2. You
No,
gotta
a
be
hold's
kidding.
worth 2. A hold's worth 2.
That's what I'm saying. I might drop the hold and increase the win.
Yeah,
How
drop
about
the
that?
hold to 1 and go to 3 on the
That makes
wins.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's the save? 5.
3.
Okay, see you next week.
Hey, saves are tough, man. Saves are tough. And you only get a few of them.
Right, so it should be worth 5.
No, I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, I'll tinker with it. I'll tinker with it again.
Eric, why aren't we
No,
doing it the same way? Why aren't we just doing it the same way as last year? You lead the category, you get 12 points.
This is full throttle, baby.
Yeah, this is too much. Jesus.
Glenn, you can come join the NCSN league. We're going to have just like last
When's
year.
your draft? I keep asking you, where do I send the
Draft
money?
is going
When's
to
the
be
draft?
around the week after 21st. We'll retro the Dodger Cubs stats. for
Nice.
just whoever drafts them. I want to wait a little bit because of injuries. Too many key guys might drop out, and that would suck if you draft.
Text me tomorrow. Text
All
me
right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Dan, not at 2 a.m., not at 5 a.m. Tomorrow.
Look at Lou. He's ready to get out. Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay, I
Get
gotta
out of
go.
here.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Have fun. We'll see you next time.
Oh, wait, real quick. Tomorrow night, you're on at 8:00.
Yeah, 8:00.
And we will be on about 9:30 doing a Warriors Portland Trailblazers post game. So we'll skip the Giants. Tuesday night, we'll have Ned Coletti on at 9:30.
Nice.
So we're 9:30 the next 2 nights. So you guys are 8:00, right?
Looking
Right
forward
on.
to Ned.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, looking forward to Ned.
Call
All right, guys, be good out there.
bettercreditcards.com. Bettercreditcards.com.
All right, I would see you guys. Woo!